Ag Week Weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
How will the weather treat us as January begins? Here's John with our Agri-weather outlook.
Well, winter has sort of found itself. Cold weather has dropped into the north central United States, and many areas it's beginning to expand a little bit. Snow is starting to happen. Areas of some significant snow in the plains and Midwest. Other areas are just getting lighter snows, but the pattern has definitely gone a little bit wintry. The big question, though, of the day is, will it remain this way, or is this just a temporary setback in an otherwise mild winter? And that actually is what I suspect will happen. The El Nino pattern still very much there. This is likely a midwinter temporary aberration in an otherwise relatively mild winter. That's not to say that we'll go back to record heat in February again, but it does suggest to me that it's not likely to stay extremely bitterly cold. Frigid weather, though, has worked down into the south central part of Canada, where it can make inroads into the U.S., and decidedly cold weather, that is freezing or near freezing high temperatures, have made it down into the mid-south and throughout the Rocky Mountain states. And really warm weather, that comfortable weather in the 60s and 70s, that's really getting pretty hard to find this week. Some of it down in Florida, especially South Florida. Other than that, a lot of very cool weather. And we will start seeing some near zero high temperatures across portions of Montana, North Dakota, and northern Minnesota as we get into the second half of this first week. And then as the pattern gradually shifts into the middle of January, this 14th through 20th, it's still looking pretty cold. I think this cold will retreat a little bit around the mid part of January, but it's going to remain relatively chilly. And freezing weather will continue, and the South will continue to have a very chilly start to the new year with generally pretty cool weather. They'll be wearing jackets in South Texas and jackets in South Florida over the next couple of weeks, with the real warm stuff going down into the Caribbean and pretty far south, actually, down into Mexico. Now, as far as snowstorms go, there likely will be one or two this next week that come out of the Midwest into the Northeast. These will likely be heavy precipitation. This will likely be a bit lighter. In the Pacific Northwest, the mountains will get clobbered with snow, as they nearly always do when it's cold, and the coastal areas will likely remain mostly as rain. Now, don't use this to get the idea that North and South Dakota and Iowa are going to get hammered with feet of snow. Not expecting that, but it does look like there'll be a couple of systems that will bring at least some snow cover to the area. And as we get on into the middle week of January, the 14th through the 20th, still chances for snow around the northern plains up through the Northeast, though generally this mid-January pattern does look a little bit drier than this first week.